Good evening, and welcome to the Ourcraft Minecraft Podcast, which I keep forgetting I have renamed it to the Complexes Podcast, because that's more what it is. It's just the podcast that we all do together. Tonight I'm joined by Sean, who's not normally here, but he decided to stick around tonight. And it doesn't look like anybody else is going to show up, so I decided to do something I've been meaning to do for a little while, which is try out Minecraft Java. So I got that today. So I don't have I don't have a skin for it yet, so it'll just be plain default Steve. Until I've kind of figured out how to do skins, but it's gonna take too long to do it tonight. So we're just going with the flow here and just doing Steve for tonight. If I ever do another Java stream, which will probably happen, I'll have proper skin by then. Let's go ahead and make ourselves this world. I know it's like really tiny right now, and I don't know anything about Java, so unless it...
I heard you can fix that with pills.
They don't sell pills for this problem.
You just... I don't know what the rating of your podcast usually is. I think you got it to PG-13 so far, though.
The rating for this podcast is whatever topics come up.
Oh, jeez.
Whatever jokes we decide to make. That being said, if we ever got monetized, I suspect we wouldn't have nearly as much problems as most other YouTubers have with YouTube. But I don't know, like, I'm sitting on this like really tiny Minecraft screen, and I haven't bothered to try fixing it because I'm convinced that it'll get full size once I get into the world of Minecraft. If it doesn't, then I'll fix it. It does not. This looks like I need to fix it. Wow. Okay. Options. Video settings. Oh, they've...
Here's a question.
They've got me on like max everything. Okay.
Are you streaming on Twitch?
For this stream, I do a double stream, and it streams to both YouTube and Twitch.
Okay.
Usually I stream onto Twitch, and then I move the archived video over to YouTube, because Twitch likes to delete my videos after like a month. I'm gonna move those simulation distances down. Full screen resolution. Why is VSync on? What in the world? Okay. Oh, there we go. That fixed everything. Oh. Wow. Java moves really slow on my PC. Sometimes I get decent frames. You'd think that Java would be less intense on your computer. But then you'd be wrong, apparently. Is there a way to options?
Well, I think maybe the problem is it's less optimized.
That might be true. Intensity distance. Let's go ahead and decrease the particles and see if that helps. Oh, there we go. Apparently I just needed to turn my simulation distance down. If I keep my render distance up, but my sim... Oh my goodness. Oh, options. Controls. Sneak needs to be on toggle. Keybinds. Why in the world... Why in the world is default sneak shift in this game? Why is that a thing? I always forget because I change it back because why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Okay, I need... So now that I'm in this game, I obviously need some wood. Alright. Well, while I work on surviving the first night, let's talk about some real-world events.
Oh, here it comes.
What?
I said, oh, here it comes.
Yes. It's time to get kicked off of Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. Banned for all time. So Ukraine. Let's just deal with the elephant over in Europe. What is your opinion on what the U.S. is going to do about it, if we're going to do anything? Or...
I'm assuming you're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. I think so. I don't know if you remember, but this happened like, if I'm not mistaken, something very similar happened like 5 years ago. Initially, I don't remember exact details, but it seems like it's the same old song and dance. There are there are regions in the Ukraine that I guess want to become part of the Soviet Union. They're Ukrainian names, so I have a hard time remembering what they're called, but pronouncing them. But I think it's the same regions essentially that kind of caused the stirs. Like again, like 4 or 5 years ago, and the U.S. sanctioned them, and then it kind of went away. Like everybody sanctioned them because I don't think when people obviously will argue with me on this point, but I'm not going to die on this hill. But it has been said that Russia is a first-rate military, first-world military with a third-world economy, so they can't. So
They
not
can't
really.
afford a war.
They're not a protracted one without making a lot of really big moves in the beginning. Now I say this, who am I? Like I'm not qualified, but as far as I understand, like you know, and so this is the same kind of thing. It's the same like I guess regions of the Ukraine which are trying to break away. Now there were like people were saying I read an article that was like talked about how the fact like Russians would move in there. They're basically like, oh, we want to be part of the kind of like what Hitler did with like the Rhineland, or areas where it's like Germans are living there, so we want to be part of. But now the Russians that are there are like, oh, we want to be part of the Ukraine, and it's like, well, I don't know how much of a say you really get if you're not really Ukrainian. But anywho, that's been my understanding. I don't know if we're gonna go to war over it because I don't know if we care enough about the Ukraine to go to war. Like other people, like we didn't go to war over. Arguably, it's more justifiably so. We didn't go to war over. Oh shoot! What is that famous Chinese city that
Hong
was
Kong?
Hong Kong? Yes, which was part of the British Empire until recently.
Yes.
We didn't go to war with them. And that was pretty sad. I can't see us going to war with the Ukraine. Although, again, I guess the big difference though is, we're part of NATO. Now, does NATO care more about the Ukraine because that's a little closer to home than Hong Kong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if NATO. I don't know. Because I don't know enough about NATO, the North Atlantic Trade Organization. I don't know how much influence they have. Like, if they follow our lead, or if they all got together and were like, "Hey, we need to fight Russia." If they could pull the U.S. into a war, if we didn't want to go to war with Russia, but I'm not really sure. I think the days of like World War I and II style battles are over with the advent of nukes, in my personal opinion. So I don't know if there's going to be a draft, because I don't think there's going to need to be a draft. I don't think it'll escalate to that point. I don't know. It's interesting, and Russia is so fascinating because like I don't know how familiar are you with the Chech Wars, the Chechen Wars, between Russia and Czech
Between
Czechoslovakia, whatever.
Russia and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Not terribly familiar.
So it was one of those weird things where they had two wars basically, and the first war, Russia took massive amounts of casualties, like mind-boggling amount of like casualties.
Mm-hmm.
Because which was kind of like, oh, everyone's like, this is a done deal. Russia, is going to war with tiny old Czechoslovakia, whatever, or whatever the name of the country is, and they got their butts kicked, and it kind of ended in a weird kind of stalemate. And then the second time, they rickrolled them. By the time they had their second war, but who were they fighting? They were fighting basically Uzbeks, basically like hillbillies from the mountains.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Russia. I don't know. It's so weird because Russia is like, they're definitely. I think there's a reason that people aren't like Russia isn't the boogeyman anymore because people kind of realize like, oh, they're not really that big of a threat. I guess I don't know. Or I mean, everything's relative, obviously. You know what I mean? Like Russia's a huge country. It's got a huge military, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know if without like, I feel like without taking other people's resources, I feel like they couldn't sustain it a long war. That's from what I understand about the country. But again, I'm not an expert. So to make a long story short, I don't think we're going to go to war, but I think that people are going to say all sorts of crazy stuff.
There will be rumors of war.
Pretty much.
You are of a similar opinion to me. I think it's a slightly bigger deal than it was last time it happened, but I don't think Russia is trying to bare its fangs so as to appear more threatening than it is, in the hopes that everyone backs off and just lets them take the bits of Ukraine that they want. But I suspect that this time they will not just get the bits of Ukraine that they want, and will be forced to either relinquish it or go to a war that they can't afford, which
Putin... You don't even think they're gonna get what they want out of this.
I don't. If I'm gonna be honest, and I've heard rumors of mutually assured destruction, and I'm just gonna be straight up honest. I'm not, unless they've got like some really really old atomic bomb. I don't think they even have working nukes at the moment.
You're talking about Ukraine.
Well, I know Ukraine doesn't have any. But
you don't think Russia has?
I don't think Russia has any working nukes, if I'm going to be totally honest.
I think there are people in Russia that have nukes in their backyard. I don't even know. I think
okay, well, yes, but the question is, does the government have nukes? The people in Russia play with hand grenades for fun. So,
right. Which... on an almost unrelated note, it reminds me of that story I read. Like, when I first realized that Russians could have hand grenades, like, just for recreational purposes, basically. Like, you can't get a gun, but you can get hand grenades.
yes.
It was a story about just that fact, and about a guy bisecting himself with a hand grenade because he was... I don't know exactly what he was doing with it, but obviously I wasn't doing what he was supposed to. Was playing with it, I guess.
What's the point of having a hand grenade if you're just going to use it the way you're quote-unquote supposed to use it?
That's true.
Where's the fun in that? Okay. There we go. I have officially survived the first night. I literally can't mess this up.
The classic, have you entombed yourself?
No, I've actually built a proper bivouac. I've got a furnace, I've got a crafting table, I've got doors, I've got acacia wood surrounding me. Like, I cannot mess this up. I've even got charcoal. I'm living it up in here. Putting my Minecraft skills to the test. Listen, I don't think Putin is a very good man, but I also don't think he's an insane individual. Um, which is part of why I I take the whole I take the whole mutually assured destruction. Even if they've got nukes, I don't think Putin would use them.
You couldn't even ensure their mutual destruction. Like,
Well,
Russia
even
might not.
I know people have
Russia
done
might
the
not have nukes. What?
well. I know somebody's done the calculations, and even if they've got all of the nukes that the Soviet Union had at its peak, and we use all of our nukes, something like 75% of the population would survive. So mutually assured destruction isn't even assured destruction. It's like, yeah, the world economy is in shambles. There are bits of the world that are now uninhabitable, but most people survived, and you would need a lot more nukes than have ever been built to destroy not a significant portion of the populace, but more than 50% of the people in the world.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to get anywhere close to 50%, you'd have to really focus on both China and India. Because even if you just carpet bombed the U.S., like what do we have? Less than 500 million people. uh, but just people worry too much about atomic apocalypses when we have never had enough nukes on hand to achieve anywhere close to a nuclear winter. Like, things could get really bad, but you'd almost have to fire everything into the atmosphere to get anywhere close to changing uh, the world's climate, if I understand right.
Oh, you... Okay. On a tertiary note, do you remember when Trump was talking about? Now, I don't know the details. I just remember he had brought up or mentioned something about like launching nukes at like hurricanes to destroy them. Which is part of the reason why maybe the greatest president ever.
Yes, I do remember that.
Just nuking Mother Nature into submission.
Uh, yes. The thing is, with a large enough explosion, it would work. He wasn't wrong about that. But... And a nuke is technically a large enough explosion, but then all of a sudden, out in the middle of wherever you launch the nuke, there's just this big patch of irradiated water. And seawater, for some reason, holds radiation really well.
100%
Yeah. Now, that's very useful for, like, coastal cities. Like, Hiroshima got... Hiroshima and Nagasaki are both inhabitable now, mostly because they were, like, coastal. So the seawater washed a lot of it away fairly rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, the Bikini Atoll is still highly irradiated. And I guess it's because it doesn't have enough currents flowing past it or something. So you can end up with, like, just patches of seawater that are like heavily irradiated for very long times because there's just not enough current to like wash it away and disperse it. Or it can work in your favor and just immediately get rid of the radiation. It's weird.
Well, I'm not a radiologist, so I don't know about that. I will say this. I think go back to the whole like Ukraine thing. I had read an article about how they were changing up. I don't know whatever came to pass with this, but they wanted to change up the way the National Guard worked, as far as like how it was the size of troops on standby, and they, from what I understood, the gist of it was basically they wanted to make it so that the National Guard was, I guess, already a battalion level size stateside at whatever their, so every state basically increased the, if not increase the amount of National Guard, like reorganize them. And the idea was essentially to fold them into, the army seamlessly instead of like mixing, I guess, the troops together, like National Guard, I guess, volunteers. They would just be like whole like battalions ready to go.
Yes.
And so it'll be for faster mobilization. And that was supposedly because of the scare between, because China was feeling froggy, and India wasn't feeling it, and so they were like, well, we might have to fight on the behalf of India with India, which, and that was a little scary. China's kind of a wild card, because here's the thing, like, what happened to the USSR is kind of fascinating, but like but that doesn't mean like systemic collapses are going to happen every time, because like say China, say like Zhao Jinping, or however you say his name, say like he gets desperate because his economy is collapsing. He might do.
You mean Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah. Cool. What is his name? Nice. I guess I have to Google it.
Xi Jinping. I do know his actual name. Xi Jinping. Which is why they skipped from when they were counting Koof numbers. They went from they went from Mu to Omicron. Because apparently his name bears a resemblance to the Greek letter Z, so they didn't want it associated with him. The World Health Association acknowledged why they did it too. They were like, we're skipping the letter Z to avoid comparing this virus to any person's living. It's like, yeah, we all know who you're referring to.
Any person, living or dead.
Okay. Let's get ourselves a wooden shovel and then make ourselves... Oh, we don't need a shovel for a boat? What?
It was a move.
Apparently, boats are just cheaper in Minecraft Java. I prefer the recipe from Bedrock, I'll be honest. That's something Bedrock has over Java, is its boats. The boat recipe is superior. Even if it's cheaper.
I like the Bedrock. I
Bedrock.
like the combat in the Bedrock version, but I like the combat in.
Yeah, the combat is obviously superior in Java. From a game design perspective, it's more interesting, varied. There's more decisions to be made. Oh, I immediately came across a jungle. I don't really want to make a home in a jungle. Wait, or do I? Jungle home might be cool.
Yeah.
Do I do jungle home?
That was interesting. So,
What's huh?
So I make the long story short, I conquered a city, and then I saw that the Empire leader. Oh, where are they? For you, those not aware, I'm playing Warhammer 3, Total Warhammer 3, and they had two armies close by. I was like, well, I don't want to get caught in the city because then they only have one army on the continent. Like, so they'll crush me and that'll be bad. It's like, I know what I'll do. I'll wait in ambush and see if I can't catch them out one at a time. At least, like, if I can annihilate one army to get a decisive victory, I can defend my beachhead. Well, they discovered my ambush, and instead of attacking me, they bypassed me, went straight to the city, my beachhead, and then ransacked it. So I've never seen the AI do that before. So it's a little interesting as to why exactly they would do that. I don't know if it's because they know that I'd beat them in a one-on-one fight. Oh yeah, their army is trash. That's why. Yeah, they're not even taking his critical engagement. They're basically spamming like. So in the original Warhammer game, if you played the Empire, you could spam like footmen, or what do they call it, swordsmen, and for whatever reason in the auto resolve they hit way above their weight class, and you can basically auto resolve roll the AI. Well, they messed with them, and now they're not like as good in auto resolve, and they're not like they kind of factor more fairly. Um, and they're kind of, I mean, they're pretty much trash in my opinion, but they stick around long enough for your other units, like your Demogryph Knights, to get the job done. And they come in huge. There's a ton of them too. There's like 120 in every, I don't know what we call them, unit, battalion, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much like really good cannon fodder, but they're trash. And so the AI is running away from me. That's why they bypassed me, because they didn't want to fight me. So the thing about Warhammer 3 so far, I've noticed the balancing is really bad, and I don't know if they're doing it because like they want people to really enjoy the demons, and so they've purposely left things like weirdly balanced, but like the demons seem to just like roll over old like the original factions, and it's kind of weird because like Thorn, for instance, like their basic unit, the Bloodletter, is so good that you can pretty much keep using them late game because they're hands down like they blow away like everybody else's baseline infantry, except for like maybe ogres, but they probably I don't know. So I don't know. The game is not. I would not call it well balanced. It's fun, but it's a little cheesy right now. Yeah, decisive victory.
You gotta love those Java trees. One block high trees.
It's a Java bush.
Well, see, the thing is, they've actually added bushes into the game. I don't know if you've played since that.
Nope.
But you can grow these things called moss blocks now. And moss blocks can be used to... You can use bone meal on moss to grow bushes. And then if you use bone meal on the bushes, they become azalea trees. So you can get azalea bushes and then azalea trees. And an azalea tree is just an oak tree with flowers in its leaves. But moss is kind of neat because you can use moss farms and use composters on moss and stuff, and it's somehow it's bone meal positive. Because you make when you use bone meal on moss. Let me make a bed real quick. When you use bone meal on moss, just a lot of the blocks all around it become moss. So you can use a single piece of bone meal, make a ton of moss, put the moss in a composter, and then it becomes quite a bit of bone meal. So it's bone meal positive to farm moss like that. A chicken died. A chicken died somehow in the jungle near my camp.
Right. Oof, I missed micros. My dogs. That's bad. Yep, they're running away. That was a miss micro on my part.
One, two, three.
Actually, I missed micro on a lot of stuff. To be completely honest.
Well, once I turn the simulation distance down, Java's not running too bad. It's a little bit more laggy than Bedrock, so I don't think I'm going to switch to this being my permanent Minecraft home anytime soon. I do like the combat a lot better. I have to say, like, it feels a lot more like I'm swinging something with actual weight.
Yeah.
So I like that. I do like that. But the lag is intensive enough. I'm going to play it tonight. I might play it a couple other times here and there. But I don't know. Until I get a better graphics card, I guess. Which is way on down the list of purchases I need to make for this PC. Until I get a better graphics card, I think this will be something I rarely play. It's just a little too intensive for my poor, barely a gaming PC. How many chests can I craft?
Not ever gonna catch me. Can you catch this guy?
4 is apparently the answer. And that sounds perfectly lovely to start our sorting with. Okay, first of all, we're gonna get all of this jungle wood out of my inventory. I want the furnace back. And I'm gonna want the cobblestone back. We're gonna go ahead and take 64 of the jungle logs. Alright, now what we need to do is level some land.
Who's not doing anything?
Got 8 shovels. Excellent. Alright. Now, let's see.
Well, except for a few missed micros, it's pretty good.
We need to, at some point, play actual, like, tabletop fantasy,
Oh, Warhammer?
Yeah,
Fantasy?
Warhammer. Like, actual tabletop fantasy Warhammer. It's a lot of fun. It is a very different beast from 40K.
The problem with, like, here's the problem, though. Warhammer Fantasy. I'm not... Like, the models have to move me in order for me to commit that much time to... something that in depth, like, because I've watched fantasy get played. I used to watch Mini War Gaming a lot.
Yeah.
And they would play a lot of fantasy, and it just seems like it's not really my, because the models don't really like inspire me. I don't really like want to put the time into it. Whereas like 40K is pretty.
There's a difference between the really old fantasy models and what they put out right before they discontinued it. What they put out right before they discontinued it look really nice. Did I ever show you my dwarf army? Because it's from like
yeah. No, I will say like the Age of Sigmar models. I think they're beautiful. I just think that sometimes they're a little much.
A little bit overdone.
Well, there's so much going on. It's just like, what even is this thing? Like, so like stuff from like, it's weird. So like, stuff went like from early fantasy went from like having little detail, looking wonky and goofy,
Yeah.
and then like they added more detail, and then it was like, oh yeah, okay, this looks cool. There's the satchels, pouches, like everything, like more modern take. And then there's like, then they go like too far. Where like, you ever look at like Pathfinder art, and they're just like, you know, like how does that guy even move? He's got like 3 shields, like 6 quintuplet potions strapped to his chest. He's got a backpack. You know, he's got like 2 long swords. He's just like covered in pouches and crap. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's busy.
The-
It's very visually busy. Now, I happen to actually like that.
Yeah, the Pathfinder art's really nice, but it's very impractical when you think about it too much.
Oh yeah, I would not want to be that. I would not want to be that person. No, I would never. Just like
It has the appearance of looking practical until you think about it for like 5 seconds. And then you're like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense actually.
And that's kind of what now Age of Sigmar kind of has that, except for the Stormcast Eternals. They have a very clean design. It looks very cool. They basically look like Space Marines, like Blood Angels, like a oh shoot, what's the name of their chapter master? Dante. They basically look like a bunch of Dantes. So, which is to say, they look good. I do appreciate them, but everybody else looks a little too, like, a little too 40K. But with that said, I'd rather have them look overly complicated than look like goofy. You know what I mean? Like not a lot of effort is put into them.
Yeah.
Because I've seen.
No, the old fantasy Warcraft models are heavily based on
Warhammer. Different IP.
What?
Different IP.
I'm trying to think of the guy's name. There's like he was used for like every fantasy art back in the day. Like he was the only like artist who would take like fantasy commissions, and his style is like super simplistic, mass produced. I don't want to use the term garbage because his
That would work perfectly.
no. While his is simplistic, it's like quality, but it's very simplistic quality. But when anybody tries to imitate his style, they're like way too simplistic, and they don't. There's not enough like understanding of how art works to do simplistic properly when they're trying to imitate him. It's clearly night. Let me go to bed. I'll have to look up his name. Classic fantasy artist. Alright. Images.
Look at this handle and hammer. Woo! I'm sleepy. I'm like combining words. Dude, you need to move. Ooh, why are you on the ground? You were supposed to. Whatever. Oh, there must be some kind of AI control. Interesting. Arcadia to run.
Let me check this name and make sure this is the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think this is exactly the guy I'm thinking of. So
Anyone else taking a bad engagement? Oh, dang, I have allies coming in.
yes. Frank Frazetta is like the classic and sort of quintessential fantasy artist.
Yeah, he's got the famous. I was gonna say he is not. I would not call his art simple. I call it emotion stirring. And by that I mean if you're a young man and you saw like any one of his, you know where I'm going.
Yes. I think I know where you're going.
I think you pick it up when I'm putting that. Yeah, Frank Rosetta, yeah, he's
it's a little bit risque sometimes, often, almost always.
Well, I think I heard that so like the reason that superheroes and whatnot look the way that they do is because it's like, I guess back in the day, I guess inspired a lot by him too. Like drawing the human form was considered like, oh, how to put it?
But well,
an ideal, and so people would draw the human form, and then they would just basically paint it. So like all your superheroes are basically naked because they're just drawing like their idea of the perfect human body.
Perfect, yeah, the perfect human. The yes. Now, but when you look at Frank Frazetta's work, when I say it's simplistic, I mean that there's not a ton of stuff going on in the picture. It sort of forces you to look at a few things, but those things are drawn really well. There's he's got a great like understanding of what he wants to accomplish. It's not simple because he can't draw. It's simple because he wants you to look at this thing. He doesn't want you to look at anything he doesn't want you to look at. So like the famous picture of Conan, when you look at it, there's not a lot of detail in the pile of bodies and treasure that Conan's standing on. You can tell what it is, but it's not there to distract you from Conan, which is the point of the picture, right?
Right.
Like, but a lot of people, when they're inspired by him, they see the simplicity of his work and they don't understand like why it's simple. And so instead of using simplicity to gain the effect that they want, they incorrectly use the simplicity from his work, and that ends up with an inferior piece of art. I'm saying this as somebody who can't draw. I have artistic talent, but it is not in the drawing department like at all. I'd be lucky if I could get my fingers that I'm trying to draw to look right. Hands are always the worst. But I digress. But that sort of simplicity where his characters are detailed, but they're also kind of simple in a way because he wants you to like focus on some aspects of the character rather than like
their pecs, bicep.
I was going to say the savagery of Conan, but okay. He wants you to like he wants to get across an aspect or characteristic of the person that he's drawing. So Conan's simplistic, but you can tell a lot of stuff. Like there's not a lot of things that Conan's wearing, but
I don't know.
But in that you kind of you get the idea of what kind of person this Conan that you're looking at is.
Alright, just like that they're dead.
But that's the kind of thing that inspired like the models. Quite clearly it inspired a lot of the older models for Warhammer. But the problem is that kind of style doesn't work with models. Or if it does work with models, it clearly didn't work with the Warhammer models.
When you look at like this old art, like okay, you take like old Space Marines for instance. They look like they're wearing tubes. Like they look so bad. Like the idea of them is so cool, but to be rendered properly is so difficult. Like they look so bad. And like the newer stuff, and that's why I really appreciate the Primaris Marine, because they have a much more like gritty, realistic feel, and they actually have like pouches and stuff. Because when you look at like your models, you're like, he's got one clip and that's it. He has no additional gear. He's got nothing. And he's supposed to wage war. And there's little things like that, the little details, and so I appreciate the additional details. I know a lot of people like they don't like new stuff.
New stuff's scary.
The new stuff is scary, which isn't to say like, and it's not to like downplay all your fears, because some of it is legit. Like, you know, with new stuff, sometimes it's not always, you know, you get sequelitis. It's not bad. But I think in the case of like the Primaris Marines, I think they make sense in a lot of ways. I almost think it would have been better. I don't know. It's almost like Games Workshop. They're like, well, we don't want to update the Space Marine models because people have a huge tizzy. So what can we do? Why don't we have both? And then it's just like, yeah, but why would you ever buy regular Space Marines anymore when you have Primaris Marines that looks cooler and they're better stats?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was agreeing.
They're
with
literally,
you.
yeah, like they're literally multi-wound models. Like,
I imagine one benefit of buying the old Space Marines is you can they're a little bit cheaper, and you can stuff more into your army for less points.
Yeah, but I would say that having like quality over quantity is sometimes just as good as like it depends on like the game mode and your strategy. It's not balanced. Like the game's not balanced at all. Because there are armies that kind of go in and out of season. I think right now who's dominant? I think the Mechanicus right now is balling out of control, basically unstoppable. Because you notice that like people generally don't play games to table, like they don't play like straight up like I'm gonna table you. It's like, oh, it's always objective based combat because then you can win by basically, yeah, you lost the battle but you won the war type of thing. It's like and it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. I just don't find like objective gameplay that much fun. Not like multiple, not like the way that they have it set up with like multiple objectives, like a tournament play. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of like, yeah, if it would be like a King of the Hill type of thing, that's fun. But I bought these models to duke it out, not to run around the map or the board. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me
though. It's difficult to balance.
Oh yeah.
I don't get to talk about this very often, but one of my passions is game design. And speaking of which, I meant to bring this up last week, but I'm currently working on a board game. So I'll give updates as I get that done. But one of the most difficult things to do when you're designing a game is balancing a game which has inherent asymmetry. Yeah. If the players in the game have something that inherently makes them unequal, the game becomes a lot harder to balance. It's a lot easier to figure out how to balance something like, say, it's a lot easier to balance something like Magic the Gathering. Oddly enough, it's easier to balance something like Magic the Gathering where every player can bring whatever card they want to the table. I understand that there's some financial restrictions in that, but technically speaking, every player is able to field the same card. So the only asymmetry that they have to worry about in Magic between players, because if you ban a card, you've banned the card for everybody, and if you allow a card, you've allowed it for everybody. So the only inherent asymmetry in something like Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon, or card games like that, is who goes first. Well, then all you gotta...
So I will say this, though, on what you're talking about. I don't know that Warhammer 40k even necessarily should be balanced. Probably to a degree, but the races, when you look at the lore, it's so weird, when they're artificially gimped. It's the Necrons are by far and away way superior to, even the Empire or the Imperium. And they should play like that. They should play like they're heavy hitters. They already have crazy abilities, and it kind of reflects it. So it's one of those things, but then it makes you not want to buy the models. I think the universe almost makes more sense in reading material, because when you read 40k versus when you play 40k, is a huge difference. When you read 40k, it makes sense. This is the power differential is vast. It's huge. You can feel it, and it makes sense, and it's organic. There's like the Empire, right? They don't have the most update tech, but they have a lot of it. They have a lot of ships. They basically drown you in their own blood until you asphyxiate, right, on human remains. And that's how they roll, right? They're basically this unstoppable juggernaut that if you could actually, and if you get them all on the same page doing what they're supposed to, it's like they're unstoppable, right? It doesn't matter that the Necrons are by far and away way superior. The ships are better, the technology is better, their infantry is better. Like it doesn't matter because the Empire just drowns you in bodies. But there's a balance there because it's like, well, the Empire can't be everywhere. There's only so many guards in the regiment, even if there are trillions of them running around of individual soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
But when you play 40K, that's when it's like it's not so fun because then you stuff happens and you can't appropriately deal with it. I guess I should break this down further, just to clarify. So I don't think it works on tabletop. I don't think that it is able to be balanced in a way that everyone will be happy. I think it's just not going to happen. Now, if you're playing a role-playing game, I think that it works perfectly. I think that the universe is set up to be a role-playing game where things are asymmetric, right? And it works there. But as far as a fair and balanced tabletop game, it just doesn't make any sense. Nothing. I've always felt like the Space Marines are supposed to be these super soldiers. They're all conquering, but they don't move any farther than a guardsman squad, right? Some tactical Marines. In the lore, Space Marines are supposed to be able to do this loping jog, and they're supposed to be able to do that for hours and hours. They can basically run super marathons and not even break a sweat, but yet they move the same speed, and they're supposed to be faster than humans, like regular guardsmen, even with all their added gear, yet they still move the same movement as far as at least last one I played as a guardsman squad, 6 inches. So it's already well, okay, now my super soldiers really aren't that super. It's what really separates a Space Marine from a guardsman? A 3-up armor save. At the end of the day, what really matters when it comes to a tactical squad, it's basically an armor save and a stronger gun, but not even that much stronger. So it's just it just doesn't. I don't feel like it translates well. Now, I think the models are beautiful. I think they're really cool, but I feel like they'd be better off in an RPG or in a role-playing game on a map than on a board set up to simulate, pitched battle. So they're just not. It's just not that fun, and it's so tedious to play. You know what I mean? And there's so many rules. It's I dread. I love playing Tyranids, but I dread, it's charging into somebody that's in cover, rough terrain, right? It's just man, what a nightmare. At least when I think I was playing, 6th, 7th edition or something like that. But I admit it's been, I'm a couple editions out of date, but it was a nightmare. Okay, and I have 25 models in this group, and I gotta move them all, in a close combat, but I got to roll. But then I also have to remember that my Hermagons, what is it, Hermagons? I think it's Hermagons. I gotta remember that they have Bounding Leap, whatever. They have special rules for running into. They get to roll multiple times. It's oh my gosh, it's so much just to charge people in combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just behind a barricade or something.
That's one of the nice things about fantasy Is
Yeah,
yeah,
make it
the
either.
brain rules are just as obtuse, but you hardly ever mess with them because it's medieval warfare. So everyone just sort of stands in the middle of a
Open field.
open field. There might be a couple trees, maybe a few hills. Um, if you're feeling real spicy, maybe it's in an empire town. But you've sort of planned this whole game out for a while. You knew what you were getting into. You knew what you were doing to yourself.
You knew. You knew. Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know. Have you ever dabbled in like 40K role playing?
I have not.
Okay. So the reason I'm
Um,
bringing it up is I don't even.
well,
Can
I
you
say
even
I
get?
haven't, but I actually kind of. One year while I was at a gaming convention, I did play a Space Hulk board game, which was a mixture of 40K rules with whatever the role playing game his name is. It was a mixture of both the role playing game and the tabletop rule set.
Yeah. So I tried getting a hold of some like role playing games for the 40K, and they're surprisingly hard to get a hold of. And I don't know if it's because they went basically out of style, and so they stopped producing them. But like, I couldn't get a hold of like what is it, Eternal War, which I think is the guardsman's perspective. You play as a guardsman. Um, could not get that. At least I could not get it at a reasonable price. Like, in order, I think the copy that I saw was they wanted like an excess of like 200 something plus dollars for the like main book alone. And I was like, well, there's no way. I was like, I'm not going to pay $200 for a role playing book.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of crazy. But
Wait. Oh, that's what's happening.
what?
My character keeps like bouncing, and I've been trying to figure out why. And it's because auto jump is a default setting in Minecraft Java for some reason. There are so many default settings in Minecraft that don't make any sense. Like, is this supposed to be a children's game? Like a really young children's game? Why is auto jump a default setting? Fix your game, Mojang. Okay.
Yeah, Mojang.
Don't need your hand-holdy auto jumps. No wonder my character's been doing weird things.
Can't hold it out.
I know how to push the spacebar, Mojang. Okay.
He's not me done. Blue Horse. They want more blood letters. They want Chaos Warriors to do weapons. Whoa, it only take me one turn to get them? Wow. They're really expensive, though.
Let's see.
Yeah. That's weird, though. Are they not essentially berserkers? It's weird.
Why is...
Other on.
The auto build feature in Java is inferior to Bedrock. Like in Bedrock, when you want to build something, you can build a lot of it really fast by holding down Shift and clicking it in your recipe book.
Yeah.
In Java, that doesn't work. All that does is build one. So that's 0.1.
Java.
Well, 0.2 for
Minecraft,
Bedrock.
please you.
That's 0.2 for Bedrock. Bedrock 2, Java 1. Java's got combat. Bedrock has superior auto build and boat recipe. I don't care that it's cheaper to build boats in Java. I want the more accurate recipe, which includes a wooden shovel. It's a good recipe, right there.
So stupid.
All right, let's see.
No, let's start this all over again. Alright, it's time to move out.
Ow.
Yes, I must die.
Falling on ladder hurt.
Up with the Lord not moved. I know the Lord's not.
Alright, so I came up here because I needed a new stone pickaxe. I'll just go ahead and make like 2 of those while I'm up here, I guess. And back down into my mine. I'm gonna need more ladder. I should probably deal with that. Found a chamber full of water as I was digging straight down, breaking the first rule of Minecraft.
Nice. Was it worth it? Better water than lava.
What?
So better water than lava.
I'm not digging a 1x1 hole straight down. It is it's a 2x2. So that if I see lava coming up, you know, I don't immediately lose my stuff.
Me?
Okay. I also immediately found a lush cave down at the bottom of this this hole. It's like not that deep.
But did you just lose your capital?
Okay. Let's see. This needs to be too high. I have 17 cobblestone left. Oh, there's an Enderman somewhere in the jungle. That scared me for a moment. I was like, what in the world?
Enderman.
Okay. What should we do next? I think it's time to go over to here to mine for some stone.
Wow. How much do I care?
Okay. Oh wait. That was a Twitch notification. Oh. Hey. it's not too much up. Got a Twitch chat asking, "Hey, hi man, what's up?" I don't know why I started to put a Jamaican accent on that.
Come on.
Come on. Not too much. We're talking about Warhammer while I learn how to function as a normal person in Java. It's my first Java experience, and it's interesting. There are things that Bedrock does that's clearly superior, and there are some things, a lot of things in Java that are clearly superior, but also my computer can't run Java at peak performance, so I'll probably go back to Bedrock for at least a little bit after tonight.
Are you sure it's not your recording?
That might affect it, but since Bedrock doesn't have a huge amount of lag from recording, even if it's just the recording, then I still should probably do Bedrock for my recordings, right? Not lagging is preferable while you're recording, especially while you're recording. Maybe I can help out with your Twitch design. I'm not sure what you're offering with that. So
drugs, obviously.
Drugs. All the drugs.
All the drugs.
Preferably the hardest ones that will ruin my life the fastest. I should get some torches while I work to clear out all the stone from here. But I'll have to go back to my base to get sticks or something. I should reload my Twitch page so I can actually like watch myself in real time rather than just staring at the stream starting screen that's been up there for like the entire 2 hours I've been streaming now. Oh, we got our first iron nugget. It was a 1 vein.
Don't educate me here. Why do they have 2 different versions of it? Is it because
so Java
was the legacy basically?
Java came first, and so it was originally. Why can't I swim faster than this? That's annoying. So Java came first, and it was like the basic form of Minecraft and the original form of Minecraft. Bedrock was made so that it functioned. Obviously, Minecraft Java is run on the Java like overlays, emotes, alerts, sub badges, animations, and more. Truth be told, the The reason none of those are good is because I haven't put any time and effort into them. I know how to alter those. Um, but I need to sit down one day and actually improve my overlays, emotes, alerts, and stuff. Um,
Wow, Caleb,
thanks
way to
for
drop the
the
ball.
thanks for
Lazy
the
dog?
offer on helping though. But I'll get around to fixing that eventually.
He'll never fix it.
I'd never fix it. That would be
So,
me. But
I
yeah,
have a
so obviously,
proposal.
okay.
Um, when it comes to your live streams that you do, I will definitely. I'm not gonna play Minecraft because I value my sanity. However, I will play Deep Rock if you guys decide to stream that. I will totally be
Oh,
down.
dude, I've been thinking about a Deep Rock stream for a while, and actually, I kind of want to take a break from Dreadmore for a little bit, which is what I normally stream on Thursdays. So, like,
Yeah, if you definitely want
I've
to,
got an open slot, and
that's fine. I'll just play Deep Rock with you guys. I tell you what though, never drinking Blackout Stout and getting in the jackpot again because that was terrible. That was literally made the game like almost unplayable. That bug did. That was
what's
crazy.
your Discord? I'll add you. I I'm not sure I want to put that out into the open world for all to hear. uh, sorry about that. Let's see. The yeah, back to an explanation of why Java and Bedrock exist as different entities. So Java's the first one. It runs off the JavaScript language code. But eventually Microsoft buys Minecraft, and so they want to move it over to their Xbox machine, right?
Right.
But the Xbox can't run JavaScript. So you've got the world's most popular game, but it can't run on anything except Java. So they decide, well, what if we just make that game, but put it on a script that everything can run. Well, a lot of Java players didn't like Bedrock when it came out, so they've never discontinued Java. So you've got Bedrock, which is named Bedrock because it is the solid foundation upon which you can play Minecraft in every game, or on every game system, because it's run on a universal code. And you've got Java, which is sort of the legacy edition. Bedrock came out, and then Java got an upgrade to its fighting mechanics, which is why they are what they are now. So back when Bedrock came out, they had the same fighting mechanics, if I remember right. But when Java got the fighting update, Bedrock did not change. Presumably because the fighting mechanic is easier of just spamming. And so it functions a little bit better with the trigger buttons, I guess. So the because trigger buttons are what the controller controls use. So because it's a little bit more controller friendly, they never updated the fighting mechanics, despite the fact they're clearly superior in Java. And it would totally work fine in Bedrock. Even if the controller people might complain a little bit. It's not like it wouldn't function on controllers.
Right.
So yeah, that's the story of why there are different games.
So I finally got the big boy for Fallout 4.
Is it everything you wanted it to be?
I can't imagine. I guess the only way it can be better is if it threw 3 Fat Man, or Fat Man, or however you want to say it, for the price of one, as only compared to only 2. But then that would probably just, the awesomeness would probably just break the game, so.
Breaking breaking that game is, like, not an achievement.
I know, which is why it doesn't need any help. No, it's like, it throws 2 Fat Men.
I don't need your help to be broken.
Like, if 2 Fat Men can't do it, then you don't need a... Like, the Merv launcher is so bad. Like, it's so short range and hard to use. It's like, why would I want to be that close and throw it? It just doesn't make any sense.
Oh shoot!
I guess because of the limitation of the engine, they couldn't figure out how to, like, how can we make this basically this really cool idea, but we don't know how to figure out, you know, I guess because they couldn't program it so that you could detonate it in the air manually. But what they could have done, they already have like grenade arcs in the game. They could have added an arc to show you where it would disperse instead of you having like to guesstimate when it will open up and drop, you know, the Fat Man. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just too goofy to use. That it makes it like really hard to use in VATS.
Do you need to use VATS with a Merv launcher?
Yeah. Okay, so that just kind of depends on how you are as a player. I find that the Fat Man shells, when you do find a mini nuke, no, they're valuable. You don't just run across them every day. So I want to make sure I hit. And basically, when you go into VATS, even though you might not hit the target directly, it pretty much will land at their feet. So you pretty much guarantee, like, it takes the guesswork out of trajectory.
Okay.
Pretty much guaranteeing you'll hit no matter what. Because, like, I don't think a direct hit does additional damage anyways. Pretty sure it's all just, like, proximity.
The projectile slamming into somebody does 18 points of damage. The projectile exploding around you does, like, 200 point or 300 points of damage or something ridiculous like that.
Wait, I'm sorry, I was not paying attention. What are you talking about?
The base stats for the projectile is it deals 18 concussion damage when it hits the target. Like, apparently, the projectile itself slamming itself into something at full force is 18 damage. So there is just a little bit extra damage from being hit.
Yeah, not worth it. Especially not in the late game. I'd rather, because you can always, like, here's the crazy part, you can always hit them. You can always use your critical advance, which is a guaranteed hit.
Mm-hmm. Very accurate targeting system. I remember you from Fallout 3.
No,
97% and miss every time.
Volt is fisted.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed. It's a fisting you miss. I have missed 95% shots, and it's a little disappointing.
I feel like you miss more 95% to 97% shots than you do 17% shots.
Ice cold Nuka-Cola. But I want to drink Quantum. I was drinking Quantum.
So when did you switch over to Fallout 4?
Maybe less than 10 minutes ago.
Ah.
Brotherhood Star Paladin. Everyone's heard that.
You know, we're like 2 hours in to this podcast. And usually at 1 hour in, we discuss coffees and other drinks that we've brought to our seats.
I have water.
And we never did that.
Sweet.
Which is on me for not paying attention to the time.
No. I have water, and I had tea, but I went and put it back in the fridge.
Well, good job.
Pure leaf. That's pretty good. I'm one of those filthy, like, go to the store and buy it in a gallon type of tea drinkers because I can't be bothered to brew my own. And I like it that way. And I'm not ashamed. And I have no intentions of stopping.
Filthy normie.
So, there are two Fat Man launchers in this truck, and I kind of want to grab those. Ah, crap.
Huh.
So one of the mods I have installed is whenever there's a oh jeez. Whenever there is a rad storm, sometimes a horde of ghouls will spawn. I think it's the True Weather mod or whatever. And I'm currently caught in a truck in a ghoul storm.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I've mined the entrance because I can't seem to get out. Yep. Whoa, what? Oh, you're still alive.
Let's position this correctly. There we go.
You don't want to die.
Alright. Whoa. Oh, there's another skelly boy. Alright.
Might as well try to... Wait, what is that? What died up there?
So I know you don't care about coffee.
About what?
I said I know you don't really care about coffee, but that is what I have to drink today. I tend to get a coffee subscription. And I try to drink a new flavor of coffee every month. But I messed up and I forgot to change my subscription so that I would get a different type of coffee. So I have the same coffee I had last month, and I've been brewing for like now 2 months straight. So I decided to try blending it with a different coffee that I had gotten previously. And this resulted in a cup of nothingness. Like, it barely tastes like coffee. I'm not sure why. Blending the two coffees resulted in something that doesn't taste like anything. But I have bland, slightly bitter caffeine water.
Nice.
Yes. But that was my experience today.
I should probably tune into you. What's your Twitch handle?
It is Comrade Computer with an underscore between those.
Comrade Computer.
Yes, it's Comrade, but with an I between the A and the D. Go ahead and let's get some torches down in here.
Say that one more time. It's
Comrade Computer, which is Comrade, but it has an I in it, and there's an underscore between them.
I'm watching you in the past.
Probably, yeah. I think there's something like, it's not that big of a delay tonight. It's only about 20 seconds. Which, is better than it sometimes is, but worse than it sometimes is.
I'm listening to you to describe how to spell your...
Like I said, it's about 20 to 30 seconds of a delay. Sometimes I don't have that much of a delay. Sometimes it's up to about a minute or two. So 30 seconds isn't that bad. It's worse than it sometimes is, but not as bad as it usually is. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing I can do about that. That's just something that happens when you stream.
It is like a pretty good delay. You're still telling me how to find you.
It also depends on who's watching it, because I have my stream up as well, because since I don't have two monitors, which is like my next purchase, for my PC, I have to keep an eye on my chat by keeping my stream open on a different computer. So I always have a viewer. And it's me.
But now you have two, and it's me.
Yes.
So what happened to that one guy who was like trying to get your credit card information?
He was trying to get my credit card information. He was offering to help get my stream overlay better. But like I said,
easy payments. $69.99.
The only reason I turned him down is because I know how to do that. I just need to stop being lazy and get that done. And then the other thing he asked was my Discord friend, so he could like send me a friend request, and I had to turn him down on that because I didn't want to put that out into the world to just everybody, because like this, yeah, it would disappear off of Twitch, but it's saved to YouTube forever. So I don't feel like giving that out to everybody.
Is the
I don't know if that makes sense or offends people, but I don't know. There is probably plenty of stone, to be honest, to start with.
I am pretty irradiated. What the? Golly, I hate the blowflies. They're so gross. I love listening to our conversation. Like,
you can mute it if you want.
Probably. No.
Alright. This has been a bit of an interesting experience. Oh yeah. I know you were on, but I haven't really announced this on my Minecraft podcast. I managed to get a blue axolotl in Minecraft. It's in my Bedrock game.
And it was sick. You're all a bunch of sickos.
Yeah, Sean does not approve of our Minecraft war crimes.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
Listen, there was no incest involved in the breeding of my first blue axolotl. There was plenty of incest to be had after. Ooh.
That does not make me any. I almost died by super mutant suicider. But besides that, you're sticking. You guys, the way you like.
I believe that fall would kill me straight out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything in this chest except a stone pickaxe and a single stack of cobblestone. And if I straight up die from this fall, I'll know what I need to do first is get a bucket of water. Ah! Well. What caught me on fire? The fall didn't kill me, but there's a lot of mobs down there, and something lit me on fire.
And it moves. Eat red death.
Okay, let's pick up this. Move that over. Ooh. Torches.
Stealth boy. Oh.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I know, like, some people would look at what I'm doing here and say, what's the point? Why do you need everything to be nice and precise when you're just laying out stuff in Minecraft? But I think that's entirely the point.
Oh, I think you have psychosis. Compels you to do that. But who am I to get away with good psychosis?
Well, I was blown up by a creeper. So we're going to run so far away, all of those things despawn.
Oh no, you spoiled the stream for me.
Oh, sorry. Ah, man, I'm sorry about that. I'm, you know, I hadn't considered that.
I'm in delayed time. I'm like another time zone so far behind.
But my goal right now is to despawn all the stuff that's down there, because I laid a bunch of torches around so that they wouldn't spawn so close to where I drop in, so that I can drop in there and then actually lay stuff down. Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Sand. Sand. Of course. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and drop down there again. And this time, we'll build...
And you did.
All right. Neat.
Wait a minute.
Ow. There's a creeper right there at the bottom waiting for me.
What happened? I could have swore I had autosaved it over there. Well, that's no fun.
I obviously didn't move far enough away to despawn all of those things. So, I'm going to go get my boat. We're gonna despawn all those things around my torches. And, when I come back, there won't be anything in that little area. Which will allow me to actually get what I need done. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. You talk crazy.
This is an entirely new part of the map that I'm rendering in, which means it is quite obviously far enough away that I can just row back to where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Stealth boy, don't fail me now.
Come on, break the surface. Wow. That is... Oh, we're getting tropical fish because of the... Oh, because there's a, Oh, shoot.
Because of what?
The lush caves biome that I've found. Tropical fish will spawn in the lush caves biome. So because that bit of water is like right above the lush caves biome, we're still getting tropical fish, despite the fact normally you wouldn't get tropical fish in an area like that. I'm gonna have to eat these apples, which is not great, but it is what I have to do. Ooh, shoot. Yep. Okay. There is a zombie that is like right there.
Zombie. Alright.
Okay. Now I need to go despawn them again. But we're getting closer to what I need to happen, which is a safe place to go down the hole and if I can get to the bottom of the hole safely, I can start working my way into the middle of that lush cave.
Sounds like a euphemism.
I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong.
I was going with that dangle. That's what you're brave enough.
Are there any other current events to talk about?
That I'm aware of. Jeff Bezos stepped down as the CEO.
That was a while
That
back,
was,
though, wasn't that?
No, that's pretty recent. Within the last 2 weeks, I believe.
I can't remember if... I don't think we've talked about that on the show yet, though. So, or the podcast. And actually, since you're an employee, what's your opinion on that?
Doesn't seem to affect me at all. I still throw boxes every day. So, wow, why am I taking so much radiation? Radiation.
Ouch. Okay. I'm gonna die to a spider. Okay.
No.
Gonna despawn that. We're getting a lot closer to finished. Well, once I make it to where there's a little safe spot down at the bottom of that, I'm going to I think I'm going to work on farming so that I have actual food. But there's no point when I'm dying every, 2 minutes on worrying about food.
In Soviet Russia, would eat you.
Well, since you can technically eat zombies in this game, that's true. Alright. We've despawned them.
Wait, what is festering bloatfly? It's an abomination. That's why I thought bloatflies couldn't get any nastier. I had pre-war money on it. Because why not?
Did you say bloatfly?
Yeah.
I didn't know those were a thing in Fallout. When I first heard them, I'm like, oh, that's a chaos thing from Warhammer.
I wish it wasn't a thing at all. I hate it. Okay. Oh, wow. Almost back to a mine.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm not dead, but I'm super hungry, so I might as well be dead. Or not super hungry, I'm super hurt, so I might as well be dead.
Why? Why?
Because I don't have any food. So I'm just going to kill myself at the bottom of this lake here. And listen to the ominous whale sounds that it decided to play for me.
The ominous whale sound?
Yep.
Your ash now.
Alright.
Well, you're not wrong.
You turned on the sound and listened to it?
No, the raider was like, it'll all be over soon. I was like, well, you're not wrong. I just shoot him in the head with my lazy rifle.
Ah.
And he's dead. I was like,
Good old laser
well,
rifle.
like, this one's a special one. Die. They break action with laser rifle, which is another mod. Enemies have access to them too. This is how I got mine, actually. I'll put a charge focuser on this one, or whatever it's called. Now it takes like 8. It takes 8 ammo a shot, but it's basically like a better. Oh, and I'm blanking on the name. What's it called? Charge. Laser musket. It's like a better laser musket. You don't have to crank, but consumes way more ammo. It really doesn't put out more damage, but better fire rate. Trying to chunk them ammo pretty good though. Wow, there are a lot of you guys.
Oh, shoot.
Dunwich boards.
I'm realizing that I'm going unprepared. Okay. Whoa. Oh man, Black almost killed me. Okay.
Killed you?
1, 2.
Oh, jeez. How did I not see this? Why did that take so long to get to?
I like how the ladder is just big enough, just thick enough to stop my jump.
How many C's?
I don't know. I don't know. Like 1 centimeter. But it's just big enough that if I'm not on the other side of the block, it just sort of
1 C thick.
Just sort of prevents you from jumping.
That makes a assault rifle. Nice. I'll need another one. What am I? Wait, what mission am I doing?
We are marching ever closer to that accomplishment of reaching the ground of this lush cave, where there's plenty of iron ore that I saw lying around. You know what? Maybe I oughta just do a farm first. Just a quick farm. Get it growing at least. Here we go. Okay.
What the? Well, should save it. I guess we use rat away.
Alright. So we can make this farm, if I remember right, water goes 8 thick, or 4 thick on both sides, or from one side. So we could technically make this farm 8 thick, but for right now, we're just gonna do 4 layers. And then over here, we will have 4 layers. And, where's the rest of my dirt? I need more dirt.
What is that? I love I just find nukes inside the robots.
Okay, there we go. Got ourselves a farm. Got ourselves some wheat seeds. Wait. Oh. There's my stone hoe.
The stone cold hoe.
And let's see. I'm gonna need some sticks. Because I am going to need another hoe.
Let's see if you can fit hoe in there one more time.
That's my brand new hoe.
Oh.
It's not against terms of service because I'm clearly referring to the farming instrument.
Immediately gets kicked off.
Oh yeah, I got an achievement. Okay, let's go ahead and let that grow for a while. But we'll go ahead and hoe this up. Get our farmland ready for more things. Lots
This is one of my...
lots of sugar cane here. That's a
I love this quest.
great thing. Which quest?
It's the one where, so the Deathclaws are my favorite. I love the iteration of the Deathclaw and Fallout 4. And they anyway, so the Gunners, which is a raider gang, they grabbed a Deathclaw egg, unbeknownst to, I guess, some of them. Anyways, and Mama tracks them down, and it's in the Salem witch house or whatever in Boston, Massachusetts. And it's just like a little cool little like mini dungeon. And like but there's like a Deathclaw that's like stalking you throughout the museum or whatever. It's really cool. And there's like a holotape. There's a bunch of like corpses and holotapes that kind of tell the story. I like it. Museum of Witchcraft Basement. But of course, I'm so over leveled. It's not really going to be like when you first like if you come here like early in the game, it's like scary because like Deathclaws really tough. At this point in the game, for me though, Deathclaw ain't nothing. Probably hit him with a nuke just because I can. Salem Witch's Brew. Sorry, should be my time listen.
Where's the sun? How close are you to going down?
One of these.
You're starting to set. Let's get this cocoa beans. Do we have cocoa seeds? Or are cocoa beans the seeds?
Yes.
Are cocoa beans the seeds? I can't remember. But let's... Cocoa beans are the seeds. So they are both the food and the seeds. Interesting. Kind of like potatoes, I guess. We will... Need to get the raw iron here smelted at some point. So work on that after I get this chicken done. There we go. Don't think this chicken will get rid of my hunger issues. It did not. Oh.
Yeah. I think that's it. Now, is it always the same Deathclaw? Oh, but the other part of the quest, though, is you can bring the Deathclaw egg back to the mama. So I was incorrect about the Deathclaw that tracks you down. I guess it's the daddy that tracks the gunners down. But you can bring the egg back to the mom. That's a little creepy. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Put that skull back. God,
Whew! Somehow I survived that. Can only sleep at night or during thunderstorms. Well, when is it night? When is it night, game? Because it looks like it's night. Or it's about to be. I would like to get some sleep. I am covered in arrows. Okay. We got 2 iron ingots. Excellent.
There's no mob that inspires more fear in me than skeleton archers.
The skeleton archers are pretty bad, but it was filled with arrows by pillagers, actually.
Huh?
I was filled with arrows by the pillagers. Or illagers.
Oh, villagers.
Stone cutter. There we go. That's what I needed to start finishing my house. Lots of stone. And so now chiseled stone blocks and bricks.
I want to use that
and
indoors.
Stone brick stairs. Let's get that picked up. Get this picked up again. Come on. Can't do this to me. I built this company. Hit you with the random William Dafoe, and you weren't expecting it.
Where you at, Mr. Deathclaw? Here, Deathy Claw. Oh, jeez. That was a waste of a stealth boy. Well, whatever. Yep. Well, I hit it with the rocket launcher indoors and it blew me to chunks. So, hurrah. I didn't even kill the Deathclaw. Something is going on with my saves.
Alright. Need more chiseled stone. So now I have to go put this cobblestone into the furnace. Get this.
Mythic Deathclaw. Eat it. Man, you were big. Holy cow.
Laid out.
That was terrifying. Oh, nice. Nice. That's some pretty sweet loot.
Alright. Well, there we go. That's how much I can lay out, apparently. great. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't even think about that happening. But also, I kind of needed that to happen. That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So I don't think you were watching when it happened, but I fell off a 5 foot or a 5 block drop. It just died. Okay, there we go. I suspect that there are no enemies around where I need to drop in at the bottom of this thing.
Deathclaw egg. Sure, I guess. Maybe return to the dead. I don't know.
Alright, now I need to go despawn those. Let's go ahead. Boat far enough away that they despawn, and then we'll come back. I can figure out my game plan from there. Well, there's my boat.
Oh, that's a male Deathclaw.
I lost my boat for a little bit.
He was wrong about.
Go ahead and...
I would say it.
All right.
Oh yeah, give me that glue.
I was checking to see if there was any, like, news or anything I had forgotten about. But, there's nothing. Other than the Ukraine thing, I guess. Like,
yeah. Sorry. My wife, her grandma is convinced World War III is about to happen. Old people usually are. It's like, oh, I think so. There's no better way to guarantee. I'd have a hard time if Biden started a war with Russia. I feel like he'll have a hard time being reelected as it is with some of the stuff going on. But he gets in a war with Russia, probably kiss his second term goodbye. I just can't see that being popular. With, like, anybody.
Yeah. A lot of people are really convinced that World War III is about to occur, and I've built this wrong.
Yeah, but they thought the same thing. Like, I feel like they think it every 4 years. Or like, people are afraid that if Hillary got elected, that she'd start a fight with Russia. You know, that she was threatening. To basically shoot down Russian planes. I don't remember exactly what was going on. Because I'm tired. I'm having a hard time thinking of the word. Oh. No-fly zone. Yes, no-fly zone in the Middle East.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, the problem with most politicians... Okay, there's a lot of them. But one of the main problems is they use all these, like, buzzwords and stuff. No-fly zones and stuff like that. But then they don't actually mean anything by it. Like, they don't... There's no backbone that makes them keep whatever they've said.
Hillary was, out of all the presidents...
Or potential presidents?
Potential presidents. She's probably the biggest war hawk. Remember her... Oh. Feel it.
Oh, I built this really wrong. But I'm in a lot more of an advantageous place to actually accomplish what I need to accomplish.
This play, like, it's crazy how, like, I've played so much of Fallout, yet there's so much content I haven't even gotten into, let alone, like, the expansions. DLC. It's crazy. Like, I never knew this guy was here. Really, what? To let you into the bunker. Is that where you are? You go down there?
Okay. Well...
Brother.
Whoop. I woke up to a nasty bump on the head. Okay. Oh, there is... Is that finished wheat? That is not finished wheat. That needed another stage of growth. That's excellent. I should have done that. Cool. I wasted all of that time. I have so very nearly finished the getting down to the bottom of this thing. Now I can get down to the bottom without taking any damage, which will make finishing it pretty much a snap. What in the world? Something broke a bunch of kelp. Well, I will set aside that kelp and deal with that later.
175.
I dropped a lot of stuff at the bottom.
Just not bad, actually.
What's not bad?
175. Damage on this. On Reba, unnamed weapons, 175, unupgraded. But it's a regular bolt action hunting rifle. Oh, I compulsively grab ammo. Need it. I lost a rifle of mine that I really liked. It was a radiation rifle. And I don't know what happened to it. Fuse box. Now what?
Here's my pickaxe. Go. Okay, now I can get some stuff situated. Azalea bush. Alright. That azalea bush looked a bit like a creeper there for a second. That was unnerving.
Super wish. I think Mirelurk's gotta be some of my favorite enemies in the whole game. Oh, okay. Oh.
I need to go to sleep.
That's good.
Plant a seed and watch it grow. Okay. Alright.
Nice to meet you, I'm a fat man. Actually,
we'll despawn all the entities in there. And run on back and finish up. This is what I should have been focusing on, was finishing up down there, instead of what I was doing, which was getting cocky and fighting everything.
I was gonna say I had that. Oh, you're a weird looking. Oh, okay.
Okay. I got a carrot? Neat.
Oh, it's fun. I'm finding mini nukes like crazy now. You don't find a mini nuke every day. I found like 2 so far today.
It's like diamonds in Minecraft. You think they're like super rare, and then you just find them everywhere.
What do you think these things grow on trees?
Well, if you do a duplication glitch just right, they're better than growing on trees.
What glowing fireworks?
Alright. Let's see. Nice.
I can hear you scuttling around. Filthy fireworks scum. I hate it. So I'm starting to burn through. Starting to burn through plasma ammo pretty fast.
Oh, man. Okay.
3 glowing fireworks.
So let's see.
One was a legendary.
First of all, let's. Whoa! No! No!
What the? Ah, crap! Not you guys. Fireworks, actually. Oops.
Man, I forgot how tough Minecraft mobs are. I've been so used to living it up with my netherite. I forgot that things actually, like, are threatening in this game. And you can actually die from mob attacks. Funny how that works there. All right. We're going to use sand here at the bottom to let you know that you have hit the bottom. And we're going to build out just a little bit, just a little, just a smidge, just a smidge. There we go. This is now a new path down out of the safe house. Yes. Meanwhile, the door out of the safe house, if you want to explore
His name is Barney. He has a bunker. Graboids.
Graboids? There are graboids in it?
No, I think it's just like a reference kind of to Tremors.
I love how...
Oh, wow.
I love how Tremors is Tremors, but that's not the name of the monster from Tremors.
Graboid. He's pretty.
Okay.
That's just why I learned some bugs.
Let's head up. I have too much precious cargo on me to allow for any accidents.
That's pretty simple quest. I've got Reba 2. That's not a Myler claim, though.
Voluntary exile? Oh! Because I had the thing for so long, I went through it. Got it. Cool. I didn't know that was an achievement. It's a bit cool that that's an achievement.
What is this?
So when you kill the like leader of what are they called? The pillagers. There's like occasionally just like a band of pillagers. When you kill the leader of the band of pillagers, you get this like you get a status effect, but it doesn't have any effect on your stats or anything. But if you go to a village while the status effect is enabled on you, you trigger a raid. And apparently if you just wait out that raid time, you get an achievement called Voluntary Exile. I got wheat. Neat. Okay, and plant a carrot. Okay, wheat. I mean to pull that one up. Wheat. That's enough for some bread. Plant all of these seeds. All right. So I have 7 wheat now. That's enough for like 1 loaf of bread, I think. Bread. It was enough for 2 loaves of bread. Nice.
highly adhesive.
And that should be enough to get me back to full health.
Reba.
Put all of this in there. Go ahead and make myself another pickaxe.
Confused.
Oh, I should have brought along a door.
Oh, it's because of adrenaline. That's why.
Let's go ahead and... Wait, I should have a door. I should have 3 doors. Made out of acacia, right? So I shouldn't need to spend any resources. Yes. Okay. So 2 acacia doors. And now I need some torches. We're going to need 5 more charcoal. And I think after I acquire the iron that's I have enough iron for a iron pickaxe, which feels quite nice. But we'll save that for the first time I find some diamond. Oh, there we go. Iron pickaxe. Advancement made. Isn't it iron pick? What? That's a pun of some sort. But
I think it's a pun on ironic somehow, but it's not very good.
It's like, I'm clever enough to have figured out that that was a pun, but I wasn't sure what pun it was. Okay. It's,
Wasn't very punny.
yeah. Hear that, Mojang? Work on your puns.
Yeah, punks.
We're just lambasting Mojang for all their terrible puns.
Some of the 50 cal rifle with iron sights. So that'll be interesting. Oh, and a missile launcher in the Batman. Besides that, nothing. You guys want water? Oh wow.
I've actually reached level 4. What? Oh, I'm getting the Russian bots that are spamming porn links into my YouTube chat. So I'm gonna have to ban those. Port.
Guess what? I have a supply line to the castle. Congratulations.
There we go. Get rid of those.
Alright, now what are we doing?
All
that
right.
hits. Resources.
Uh,
Go to fountain.
I'm going to put these doors in. I'm gonna see if I can't put out some torches at the bottom of that hole, and we'll see. I think we'll close out the stream with that.
Oh, I just was calling me.
What?
So my wife's calling me. I'm gonna go ahead and get off, Caleb.
All right. You have a good evening, sir.
You too. I love my love. Oh, not that much. I was talking to Caleb. He was streaming.
Yeah, you're not muted yet. Alright, now it's only me in the Discord. Isn't it ironic? I guess it's a pun on ironic. Okay, there we go. Get some torches down so that things won't spawn in those areas. Man, my hunger level is not good. I can't run. That's not good. We're gonna... I can't remember if you need wheat to make cookies, or if you need sugar to make cookies, or if it's both. We'll just grab some sugar cane. I'm gonna boat away. Where's my boat? There's my boat. Back up, boat out. Alright. And get turned around. Heading on back to my base. Something I could have done, but didn't do, was make a fishing rod. Okay, so all the stuff that was down there have despawned. Need to go back to my farm, get some wheat so we can figure out exactly what's up with these cookies. Because there is a lot of cocoa beans in the area. So being able to take advantage of those as a food resource will be to my advantage. You know, especially since one of the things I'm struggling so much with right now is keeping myself fed. Now, I suspect after a little bit of time, this farm will keep me all the fed that I need. But it's a matter of getting to that place first. So first I need an axe to harvest these cocoa beans. Look at that, 12 cocoa beans. So first, I need to replant these cocoa beans. So that I have cocoa beans in the future. Forward thinking. Don't just eat everything. Alright. Let's turn this into sugar. Where is cookie? Cookies take wheat. And they are not as efficient. Well, you get 4 cookies to 2 wheat, and cocoa beans grow a lot faster, so maybe it's a little bit better. You can make brown dye with the cocoa bean. If I need to dye anything brown, I've got cocoa beans. I am already out of... Oh, those cocoa beans do grow very fast. Wow, that's really fast. That is shockingly fast. Let's let's go ahead and make some bread. Okay. And for science, we'll hop up and down for a bit. Get that hunger to go down. Okay, so now we're at... I think the... Oh... Nah, the cookies might just went out. Just a little bit. Just a smidge. Okay. But I bet the bread satiety is higher. Okay. Wow. See, cocoa beans are already done. So if I could just... Can I just straight eat cocoa beans? No. You can't just straight eat cocoa beans. You can only plant the cocoa beans on tree. Jungle tree. It makes cocoa beans effectively useless because they only make two things: dye and cookies. Or at least that's the only recipes I have. I could check to see if they make something else. I wonder if they're used for like a potion or something. Got 3 iron. Let's lay out. Let's lay out some torches. Keep that spawn rate down. Neato. Ooh, that is a creeper. And that's me running back. I'm not ready to mess with the creepers just yet. Alright. Looks like it's nighttime. So, perfect opportunity to go all the way up and go to sleep. Acquired hardware. Okay, let's smelt that iron. All right, I have finished what I've set out to do. Mostly. So, I think I'm going to... There's nothing more for me to, like, gain from going down there that I can't pick up. more time to grow, apparently. But there's nothing further to gain that I can't pick up at a later date. There's nothing that's going to despawn down there that hasn't already despawned. There's not really much else to say. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this podcast. So as I stare at the rising sun,